So I recently started taking ADHD meds. Yeah, I know, I'm like fucking 20, but either way, it's been like the best decision of my life, so I decided why not to make a video with my experience with ADHD. I was like low-key a problem child because of it, and I have a bunch of funny stories, so I figured why not share it with you guys. If you have ADHD and you don't take medication for it, I suggest you watch till the end and just see my whole perspective on it. I literally lived my entire life unmedicated up until like a few months ago, so yeah. And if you don't have ADHD, enjoy these stories about me just being a dumbass. So when I was younger, I had ADHD and I had a really hard time sitting still, and it was especially as hard during things where I had to sit still, like getting my hair cut or going to the dentist. And I remember one time I was getting my hair cut, and usually it's cut by this guy named Irvin, but he got arrested for being a pedophile and raping a guy with Down syndrome. I'm not kidding, by the way, you can look that up. He would always tell me I have really nice hair and pretty eyes, and looking back on it, that is so fucking creepy. I was like 9. But either way, he got like sent to the fucking gulag, so a new barber had to cut my hair, and it was like this Asian lady that was just not having it that day. Like I said before, I couldn't sit still, and I mean, Irvin like put up with it because I guess he had a fucking crush on me, but this lady was not having it, and she was like getting annoyed and pissed off at me, and she was visibly showing it. She was like making faces at me and looking at me weird like I wasn't fucking 9, and my mom was just not having it. So like midway through my haircut, she was like, "Is there a problem?" And the barber was like, "Your son won't sit still." And then my mom is like, "Dude, he's a fucking kid. What do you mean? You're a fucking barber and you're getting paid. Like, why are you making these faces?" Then they get into like a whole argument about how I won't sit still in the middle of this barbershop, and the whole time I'm just sitting there zoned out, probably thinking about like Beyblades. Then we end up leaving in the middle of my cut, and my shit was fucked up too. Like it was like literally halfway done. And back then I hated going to the barber because it meant I had to sit still. So when my parents tried to make me go to a different one, I was like, no, we already went to one already. I'm not going to another. And dude, I literally had like no hair on one side of my head, and the other part was just long as hell. I just got back from summer camp too, so like it's been like I had long ass hair, so I literally just had like a half done haircut for about a month and a half just because I had ADHD and couldn't sit still. Another time my ADHD fucked me was when I went to the dentist. It was my aunt. My aunt used to be my dentist, and I don't even know how this is legal, but I was so bad at sitting still and keeping my mouth open that they put me in a fucking straitjacket and put like a rubber ball in my mouth to pry it open. I'm not kidding either. I don't think it was a straitjacket. It was like the kids version, but still, it was literal fucking hell. You could not move at all, and you were strapped to the fucking table, and on top of that, they shoved something in my mouth to keep it open. Like I literally was just stuck with my mouth open like the whole fucking time. By the way, I was literally fucking 7. I feel like there was definitely better ways to go about this, or at least better than putting me in a goddamn straitjacket. I couldn't itch anything because, you know, I was like fucking detained. And it's not like I could ask the dentist to help me because my mouth was pried fucking open. Looking back on it, like what if I had to shit or piss? Like what would I have done there? They are so lucky I didn't have to because I was like 7. I totally would have just shat my pants. I remember that I hated my aunt so much after that every time I went to her house, I would go to the bathroom and purposely miss and just pee everywhere. I would unwrap all of her extra toilet paper and just pee on it, so all of her reserved toilet paper was just soaked in piss. Dude, I was such a fucking threat. We only went there like once or twice a week, so eventually she caught on that whenever I came over, her bathroom would just be covered in piss, so eventually she confronted me, and I was like, no, I would never do that. What are you talking about? Then she told my mom, and then my mom asked me, and I was like, yeah, I did it. Fuck that lady. She put me in a straitjacket. Then my mom told me it was her that told her that she could put me in a straitjacket, and I was like, huh? Are you serious? You're my fucking mom. So then I just did the same thing to her bathroom. I would just piss all over the floor, and my mom caught me, obviously. She was like, I know this is you. You're fucking grounded. And yeah, that was just that much of a fucking menace. But yeah, that shit was so traumatizing. I still like remember it to this day. Like just looking at the fucking white ceiling with the lights beaming in my eyes with a rubber ball shoved in my mouth while I couldn't move any of my arms. Oh my god, I'm getting like PTSD. I used to be super arrogant too, and my mom wanted me to do therapy, and I was like, dude, fuck that, I'm 11, but she forced me to do it, so I had to go, and I would literally just fuck with my therapist, bro. It was such a waste of money. I would tell him I heard like voices and shit, and that my dog would speak to me in English, and my mom was already worried about me. She had me do this because I had ADHD, so when the guy told her I might be fucking schizophrenic, she started freaking out. Then I kind of realized how fucked what I was doing was, so I spent like the next like 3 months in therapy trying to convince my therapist I wasn't actually schizophrenic. I really had no choice but to take it seriously, and I'm not gonna lie, that was like low-key the best decision of my life. Therapy is awesome. Then I hopped on medication for like a month, and then I saw some articles saying that people with ADHD have like superpowers or some shit, and I like fucking ate that up. And after that, I just rejected the meds. I was like, no mom, I'm not taking these. I have superpowers. Literally like the worst decision of my life. That completely fucked me for like the next 10 years. And there definitely are benefits. I feel like I'm more creative than most people, but it's not like any ADHD medicine gets rid of that. If anything, it helps you. I was just a dumbass and didn't want to take my meds. A common misconception about ADHD is that people who have it just can't pay attention to anything, which just isn't true at all. You can definitely pay attention to shit, you just can't pay attention to shit that you don't care about. The problem with ADHD is that the brain needs a lot more stimulation, so when you're trying to do math or some shit and you're not stimulated, your brain just cannot focus. But if you're learning about something that you actually care about or doing something that actually means something to you, you can lock in better than most people without ADHD. Because our brains respond better to stimulation than other people, so we can lock in on things that we care about for longer than people without ADHD, which I guess is a superpower. But it's not like medication takes this away. If anything, it applies that same logic to things that you don't care about. And just some quick background information for you guys. I was diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age. Like, I was literally like 7 or 9. And my psychiatrist was dog shit. He gave me way too high of a dose, like, for my age, and I hated the way I felt on the medication. And on top of that, I read that people with ADHD have superpowers. So after that, I was like, no, I don't want to take ADHD. I want superpowers. And for the longest time, I just rejected taking any medication up until my junior year of college. And this video that you're watching right now, I'm literally making it off of ADHD meds. And I probably wouldn't have made this channel and made so many videos in the past month if it wasn't for ADHD meds. So yeah, for long story short, I really regret not hopping on earlier. I really regret that stupid ass mindset I had as a kid, and it really fucked me over for most of my young adult life. So if I can help any of you guys not make that same mistake, hop on your fucking ADHD meds. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the video. If you liked it, subscribe. If you didn't, fuck you. If you haven't already, go join the Discord. And yeah, guys, peace out. That's the video.
Too shicey, that's my dog. But poo, you know I'm really